Shalom, all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Ruach Kodash. Now, as you can see, this Jake, he hits on some good talking points. I see him on social media, and he hits on some good talking points. And he makes a good point here. He said, white men did nothing wrong in this regard. And basically, he goes into the fact that he's replying to this comment, and he basically goes into the fact that, why would your enemy want to teach you the truth, basically, about yourselves? Now, he don't know the full truth that he's an Israelite. He pushes, the spirit of Africa and stuff like that. He's Nigerian, which he's an Israelite himself, but he doesn't know the full truth himself, right? But makes some good points. You can see he's like he's book smart, So anyway, he makes some good points, and he basically goes into the fact that why should Esau or the so-called white man teach you as black people your history? Because you still got a lot of our people that believe in Esau, run to him for answers, basically. But he's going into the fact that why would the hell would your enemy want to tell you, what's up with yourself, basically, right? With you, basically. Why would he want to school you? Why would he want to teach you about yourself? Why would he uplift you? So let me play this here, and I'm going to read it in the scriptures, because there's scriptures to match what he says. All right?
My enemy, why would I want to teach your history, your true history? If you are my enemy, why would I want to tell a version of a story that will vindicate you or make you look good?
Yeah, because Esau has us in slavery, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and we know we're the Israelites, and we know us brothers in the truth of the hopeful elect. We know the real truth. We know we ruled Europe. We were the people during the Dark Ages. We was on top of this earthly realm. We ruled. We had them in slavery. But since we've been brought down, the first point of call was Esau took away our knowledge through, reteaching us. They enslaved us and retaught us. Because these devils learned their mistake from the pagan Roman Empire. Because during Rome, the pagan Roman Empire, the Jews knew who they were. We knew who we were. This is the only kingdom that we've been in that our people don't know who the hell they are. Now now the truth's getting out there because we're at the end. But for a long period of time, that 350 years, we were asleep, meaning we didn't know who the hell we were, man. And Esau, that was the Lord did it to us, but he used Esau with his cunning plans, to basically implement these things.
This is the one question I've found that black men never seem to ask themselves. They don't teach the real version of American history. Why the fuck would I? Right now, I'm telling you, as a black man,
because that, and when they say they don't teach the truth about American history, look, man, Esau has us in slavery. And our people that think like that really trust in this so-called white man. All right? Because we've been telling our people for years, and not just us, but our apostles for 50 years, 40 plus years, telling our people who the hell they are. They've been fanning their hand. But as soon as Esau says, there were black generals in Rome, now all our people want to jump on it. If Esau says, yeah, the black people are the true Jews, now our people want to jump on it. Why? Because you're destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. But the point is, your enemy won't teach you who you are. They'll keep you at the bottom, and they ain't going to teach you who you are. They want to keep you in obscurity so they can keep on top of you, man.
I will never, if I'm oppressing somebody.
Yeah, if you're oppressing somebody, like he said, sorry, I'm just making talk on his points, but I'm going to read the scriptures. If you're ruling someone, they're dead. When someone's in slavery, you're technically dead, where our people have been the walking dead. They don't have the knowledge, they don't know who they are, and they're walking dead. They're walking physically, but in the mind, they're dead. And Esau loves it that way. Guess what? When Esau was in slavery, when we had them in slavery during what they call the Middle Ages, Esau was dead. He had no power. When you're dead, that means you've got no power, no say on the planet Earth, no economic power, no pull around the world, basically. You're basically dead. And that's been us for a period of time, but we're getting ready to be lifted out of that, man. Yahweh Shai is going to lift us out of that.
Will literally never, ever tell the truth. I will never tell their version of the story. It will always be mine. 400 years after slavery, everything these men have done, after everything white men have done, black men are still sitting down, wondering why white men are not teaching our history. You really think your enemy is going to sit there and tell the truth about? Go ahead and leave your children in their schools. If you were my enemy, why would I want to teach your history? Your true history.
There you go. You know, he hit the point there. All right? After everything these devils have done, why the fuck would they, you know, now turn around and tell you who you are? All right? So let me read this here. This is Isaiah 1 and 5. It says, why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. This is talking about our people. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt. That's our people, man. They're always in a rebellious spirit. All right? More and more. The whole head is sick. Yeah, so meaning the whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. Meaning the whole head is sick, meaning our people are mentally gone, man. Physically gone, mentally gone, you know, into all kind of fucking philosophies. You know, you got our people in families with like 5 different religions in one household. All right? From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Yeah, so it says from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. So that's the mind of our people. They're gone, man. They're gone. The 2/3. All right? Because right now, Yahweh Shai is dealing with the elect. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai is dealing with the elect. That's the hopeful elect that wake up to the knowledge, to this truth, to who they are, to knowing that they're Israelites, knowing who their enemy is, which is a so-called white man, knowing who the other nations are also, that they are enemies, knowing what's currently happening in this system, the information, man, the truth. It says, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Yeah, so our people are injured. They have a permanent injury. And the only thing that can close that up is this information. All right, the truth of who we are. And Esau is not going to tell you that. See, Esau, the so-called white man and the other nations, they're elites, they're superpowers, they're elites. Their governments know who we are. Even the lower level of these other nations know who so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American people are. They know. It's a secret that you don't know. And they're not going to come out of their way to tell you this. All right, they'll rather see you with your bruises and your bruises and your wounds you can't close. They like to see our people injured. Why? Because they can stay on top. All right? That's what it is. Your enemy will never teach you anything, man. Okay? Let me read this here. This is Hosea 4 and 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Yeah, so our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. They're destroyed for knowledge of self. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, our people are destroyed for a knowledge of who they are, man. And you know what? History under this system did that to us. You know, slavery, really it goes back to the curses. But slavery, the Lord put the spirit on the so-called white man, you know, to enslave our people along with the other nations. And what did Esau do? He retaught our people, man. You know, he whipped the fact that we were Hebrews out of us. And generation after generation, you know, the curses set in. And basically up now when our people are born, we have no knowledge of who we are as a people. So we go with what's put onto us, Christianity. Some of us are born into Muslim. Some of us are born into Buddhism. You know what I mean? But the knowledge of us being Israel is gone. And when did that happen? During the transatlantic slave trade, when we reached the Americas. You know, a good example of that is Roots. When you watch Roots with Toby, which is with really Kunta Kente. But, you know, you watch that and it shows you an example of that. They whipped our history out of us. All right. And then taught us lies. And then after generation, we continued the lies we were taught through hardcore bondage. So we've been destroyed for a lack of knowledge. But the scripture says it, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee. And that's the 2/3. Currently, they still reject us telling them they're Israelites. They want to live in this fantasy system that Esau set up for them. But now, where the current state of the world is, listen, you can't avoid this, man. And you see people in Iran, their government and their news outlets, you know what they're pushing heavy? That the Jacob Negroes in America have been oppressed. We know truly who you are. They know who we are. And they're using, also, we know that, you know, they're using propaganda. We know that. They're using Jake in their propaganda against Babylon. And the Vietnamese did the same thing. The Vietnamese, they did the same thing. They told Negro men, go home. This ain't your war, right? Because those nations know who we are, all right? And our enemy is a so-called white man, and we sit around these devils every day. It's just the majority of our people don't have the mindset to understand this. But the truth's coming out. The truth is coming out. Things are happening where it's just becoming undeniable now. But the point is, it says it here, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So Jake is destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And that's what the Lord's done. He's left 2/3 of our people in the dark, man. Why? Because they reject his information, the truth of who he is, who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is. We present that to them and they fan their hand at it. All right? But, you know, we're getting to a stage now where, you know, these things are going to start becoming undeniable. Things are happening in the world now where pretty much it's becoming undeniable who the true people are, you know, and also who the wicked of the planet Earth is. So all of our people that want to talk about the so-called white man ain't evil, he ain't the devil. Well, he's proven to you day in, day out that he is. By his actions, Donald Trump and all these wicked policies, the Stein files, all these things. Right? So it's becoming undeniable. And you know what? As we know, 2/3 of our people, they're still going to trust in this devil right the way till he's destroyed anyway. And us brothers in the truth of the hopeful elect, our take on that is go ahead and do that, man. Go ahead, keep worshipping these devils till you're destroyed, man. Because the kingdom of heaven's coming. And in the kingdom of heaven, when Yahweh Shai returns, nobody's going to be delivered that wants so-called white people to be saved with them, unless they're Israelites. You have to have the right truth, the right mind. You have to be of the elect, basically. So let me read this here. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And this is what the Bible tells you. The Bible gives you the breakdown of who our enemies are. The Bible tells you who you are. The Bible tells you what you should be eating, what you should be doing, how you should be thinking. As a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, as an Israelite. So it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. This is talking about the so-called white man, man. Who is this talking about? Never trust thine enemy. All right? And the so-called white man, as much as he smiles and kikis with you, he don't like you Negroes. He don't trust you. He, in the back of the so-called white man's mind, as much as you coon for him, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, one day these motherfuckers might wake up and attack me. So, you know, you ever heard of that saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? Well, that's what the so-called white man does. He loves to keep you Negroes close to him because he can monitor exactly how you think and what you're, you know, if you're waking up to shit, if you're clocking onto him. That's what these devils do, man. But you should be doing the same with them if you got to be around them. And really, you shouldn't be around them, period. We shouldn't be around them, period. But we got to because we're in captivity right now. So never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. And that's the truth. See, the so-called white man, eventually, his old evils will pop up. I don't care how much they smile at you, how much they so-called help you, help the poor, help you as a so-called black person, tell you how much black friends they have, etc., etc. Their rust have not, when you wipe the rust, you'll see the wickedness is there, basically. You understand? The spirit of the devil will come out of these fuckers eventually, man. Okay? And if you knew the knowledge, you knew this truth, you know what you do? You teach your family it. You know, you'd have awareness. This truth gives you awareness. Hey, the Bible says that. Let me read this. Ecclesiasticus 30. Let me read this. Ecclesiasticus 30. And I'll end it on this. Ecclesiasticus 30 and 12. Ecclesiasticus 30 and 12. It says, 30 and 3. It says, He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Yeah, you're supposed to teach your son. And it says, he that teaches his son grieveth the enemy. You're going to upset the enemies because now they know, man, this man's teaching his children who we are, what's going on. That's what these so-called white people do. They teach their children to hate you. They teach their children to dislike so-called Negroes. Be friendly and cordial, but always, know that they're not our friends. That's how they teach you. They know that they're just the N-word. Know that they're no good. You're better than them. That's how they teach their people. And guess what? They're in their right spirit. That's what we should be teaching our children, but through the scriptures. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Yeah, meaning the man that teaches his kids the right way and they follow it, he's going to be happy amongst his peers. I'm teaching my family, they're acknowledging it, etc., etc. This is what we would be doing in the ancient world, and we try to apply it in this world also, but we're living in fucking hell. You might be trying to teach your kids the truth and the correct way to move, but then you got a demon woman you're with, that wants to eat pork or whatever, all kind of shit. We living in hell, but it tells you in the scriptures. So it says, though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he have left one behind him that is like himself. Meaning, so even if that man passes away, the teachings continue because the son now has it. Yeah, that's still them Edomites. He won't forget it, and guess what? He'll pass that on to his kids. That's the correct way. So in that video, that Jake, that's what he's going into. If you was ruling, you would never teach your enemy. Why would you want to teach your enemy who the hell they are? So it's not up to the so-called white man to teach you Negroes who the hell you are, teach you your history. It's really down to the prophets, man. But we know through our experience teaching his word, and we learn it year after year, it's only for the elect. The majority, the 2/3 of our people, we always repeat this, 2/3 of Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, that's like that 66% on that pie chart, is going to die in Babylon, die in the system for rejecting Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, rejecting who they truly are. All right? That's what's going to happen, man. So with that, I'm going to say all praises unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom. Shalom.